Welcome to Thursday night's crop. My name is Denise Cowell, and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor in Ormond Beach, Florida. And today we are doing the Flamingo Fun Simple Page Kit with our do-over page. But first, I wanted to talk to you about this week was all about the flamingos. And if you watched my Tuesday 52 weeks of scrapbooking, it was the summertime project recipe that we did, which uses the summertime papers, which are from 2021. That is the same papers that are in the Flamingo Fun Simple Page Kit. So we're going to do that first, like as normal. It's going to take like 5 minutes, and then we're going to do our do-over page, and I'll have the instructions for that. So let's get out our Simple Page Kit, and we'll talk about what comes in the kit. And this one was a freebie with purchase. Normally they're $6, and what you do is you get 2 pre-designed pages as well as 1 sheet. It's got different colors on it, but you can see we're going to follow the cutting guide. You have your instruction sheets, and you have a sheet of stickers. And of course, this is all about flamingos and summer days. And this kit did come with the flamingo punch, so we can use that one also. So let's just get started cutting this one. I won't attach this one because I use the base page when we do our do-over page. So let's just get those lined up. Actually, I want to move them a bit this way. So all we need to do is follow the cutting guide. And remember, if it goes off a little bit, it's no big deal. You can use the guide on your trimmer to make sure that you're straight. So we'll cut between 1 and 2, and we can turn those over. Get them either way, because this one here, the color is different, so it doesn't matter. So we will cut between, we have 1 and 2. We will cut between 3 and 4. These are 4x6 mats, of course. And again, if there's any color overlap, we will trim that off when we add it to our page. And then we'll just cut between 5, 6, and 7. There's no kind of tags or banners to make with any of these, so we will just cut these and get these all on our page. So we have 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it's as easy as that. So every month there is a simple page kit. They are all the noteworthy design this year. So let's get out our instruction page and just get these laid out. So we have a 4x6 number 1, a 4x6 number 2 at the bottom here on the left hand side. These are lined up at the inside edges, so when you put these down you can notice that the inside edge is lined up. We have 3 of these, green and turquoise, and again I have a little bit of overlap on these. I'm just going to get my trimmer out and trim off just a hair of those. This one has a little bit also, just a little bit. So we have our 3x4s, and then this one is your journaling mat, and that's as easy as it can be. Now if we look here and we look at the stickers, you can see that this sticker strip here that has the diamonds is going to go along this seam, and then you can add any of the other embellishments. You can follow their instructions that they have here, or you can do your own thing. You can also cut some borders, and I have some cut. So this one is using an old one. This is the Monstera leaves, so you could just use a punch also if you wanted. I had these ones punched for the project recipe that we did. You know, if you have the palm trees, we of course got the flamingos with this, so you can add the flamingos on here if you want, or add them as an embellishment. This is light pink. I might want to get a different color, but this is what I had a scrap of. You could add your flamingos as an extra embellishment. So check to see what you have in your punches. I have the tropical leaf also as well as that one, and I have the mandeville flower. These all go with this to make any more clusters, and using the stickers with anything else that you have. So again, that's how easy this simple page kits are. So if you haven't started doing them, there are some that are still available, and I do have some also. So let's look at how we're going to do the do-over page, and I will just come back with the instructions. So let's do our do-over page, and let's talk about, let me get out the instructions. So I took those away, and we'll look at the base pages. So pieces 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can write here on your paper that they are 4 by 6. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all 3 by 4s, but one of them, as we remember, was a journaling box, so it was a different color, and we'll talk about the paper colors, right? And then at the side, we have 2 inches by 1 inch where these flamingos are. So this is 2 inches by 1 inch. And then this green piece is 3 by 4, and I write that on my sheet here. And then this piece is 7 by 12. Okay, and then it repeats 7 by 12, 3 by 11, and this is 2 by 12, and then this 1 by 5 across the bottom. So what we're going to do to paper save is we are going to cut a U shape, and I have one cut here. I'll show you. So we're going to cut this to start with, and then what we're going to do is cut this in half, and that will be the outside edge here. So that's going to be this flamingo part. This piece that we cut out in the middle, for me, I can use the reverse, not of that one, but when I cut it out, right? So our base, we're going to cut a 2 by 1 inch U frame, and I think we did the U frames last week. So we're going to do that, and I'll cut it with you together. Then we're going to cut it in half. This is why you may want to build it on white cardstock. If not, whatever you decide for this 7 by 12 piece, you could build it on that. So the paper that I'm going to use is when Summertime came out in 2021, one of the gifts that I gave out with purchase was Summer Lovin, and it kind of matches that. So I'm going to kind of use the same summer vibe here. So what I'm going to use in here is I'm going to use this bathing suit paper. So I have a direction I need to think about. So I'm going to use this bathing suit picture, and then this is going to be where the green is here. I'm going to have blue. And then I do have pink in here that I can have pink here, and then I still have yellow that I can use for mats. And what I actually like about this too is I have this light pink, and this back part is 4 by 4 mats. So I have the option that maybe I don't want to do the 3 by 4s. Maybe I want to do 4 by 4s since I have a bunch of them in this package. So let's get started, and let's cut our frame. Now, knowing that we're going to go 2 inches, then 1 inch, and 2. That's if you want to use this inside piece as on the reverse. Otherwise, you could do 2 by 2. So this one is a little bit more complicated, but we can do it. So we are going to line up, and I keep my paper, so this is my direction. I want 2 inches here, 1 inch at the bottom, 2 inches on this side. So we're going to line our paper up at 2 inches. And because we're doing that U shape, we can come all the way from the top. And because I'm going to 1 inch, our housing can come right to the bottom since we're finishing cutting here at 1 inch. Okay, so 2 inches, stop at the housing, and then we're going to rotate our paper. Now, normally we cut on the right hand side, but because of that 2 inches, we don't have 2 inches at that side. So now we're going to line up at 1 inch because our bottom is 1 inch. Remember, we cut here at 2 inches, right? We've cut at 2 inches. So that means you can, wait, and I moved my paper because I want to be straight. So we got it at 1 inch. And this is just a paper saving. You could do some, probably do it a different way. I wanted to save paper and use a reverse because I don't have a lot of this. So I can either line up the white line at the 2 inches or just put my housing at 3 inches. Push it in, and we're going to cut all the way to 2 inches. So your housing is going to stop at 11. If you look at the side, it's going to be at 10 and you won't see the 10. So your housing top will be at 11, right? You got that? I'll make sure everybody's good. And we will rotate and finish our U. So we're going to start at 2 inches. Our bottom's only 1 inch, so our housing will be at 2. This is my U shape. My arm's in the way, so we're going to cut all the way through. Okay, so let's see if I did what I'm supposed to do. I have my middle part. That should be 11 inches, which it is. So it is 8 by 11. So what we're going to do with this piece that's left over, we're going to cut it in half at the 6 inch. We don't need 6 inches. We only need 5, but we're going to cut it at 6 inches and we can trim it later. So I'm just going to cut this in half. And I'm going to get out my 2 white cardstocks, and I'm actually not using cardstocks. I'm using just insert sheets, just 2 insert sheets, so that we can see what this looks like as we go along. Okay, make sure I have my bathing suits the right direction, and they are. So I will have, this is my right hand side. Let me just move this for a second. This will be my left hand side. And now if we look and we go back to what our base page looks like, I have this flamingo part cut. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the reverse of that because I like the reverse. And just let me get those instructions back on my desk here. Okay, so we've cut that 2 by 1 inch frame. We've cut it in half. Now we have this 8-inch piece. We can cut it at 3 inches. If you want, you can cut it at 4 inches. It doesn't matter. The pink part's going to go over top. So if you want to just cut it in half, that's up to you. If not, you can just cut it at 3 inches because we need a 3 by 11 inch piece. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these 2. And they're already 11, right? They're already 11 inches. So we're just going to cut 2 at 3 inches. And that should fit right back in here. And yeah, we're going to have a little extra there because we didn't cut that off. And I'll have another 3-inch piece, which is great now because I have an extra 2-inch piece for another project. So that is going to go on my right-hand side. So now if you look, we should have this flamingos and this green piece. So I have bathing suits in blue. So this is where you have an option. And see, look at this. There's the reverse of my paper. It has the exact same flamingos on it. So this is where you can have your thought. So let me just get this. Oh, sorry, that's that one. So actually this one's different. This one's got popsicles. You can cut it at 7 inches if you, and build it on white cardstock. You also have the option, if you want, you can build it on this pink. I don't want, and then we would have to cut off this inch here, right? So you can either build it on that 7 by 12 inch piece over here. Just build it on that piece of paper. But I want to save that 5 inches, so I'm going to cut mine down, which still means we have to use 2 pieces, right? But we can use mats. We can use mats for the rest of that. We create mats with it. So what we need next is 2 pieces that are 7 by 12. Okay, so if you have a 12 by 12 sheet, we're going to go at 7 inches. Save this one because you can use it for mats. We can use the other side if you have it. And take your other piece like that and do 7 inches. And then that one's saved for mats also. So let's see what we have compared to the simple page kit. This is going to overlap. So again, you can go back and cut that inch off if it bothers you. If not, you can just overlap it. And it's going to be like that. So now if we go back and look, we have our base page made. And I've used 3 sheets of paper. So that is the base. Now if you want to do the mats, I have the yellow, which is the other side of my pink. And the other one that I want to look at is this one. Okay. So if we go back and look, I need to put this out of the way. If we go back and look here, we have two here. 4x6s are one color, right? And then with these two 4x6s and these three are a different color, right? So those are the light pink. I could do light pink. And then you have one journaling mat. So my thought was, from the paper that I have, I'm going to take this piece that we have left that's 5 inches, and I'm going to make two 4x6 mats. So I will cut this at 4 inches. And I will rotate this and cut it at 6 inches. And that's going to give me my 2 mats for here. Okay, so on our instructions, I say 2 4x6 of one color, so that's my 2 yellow ones. Now I need 2 4x6s and 3 4x3s. But remember I said I really like these, so I may end up doing 4x4s instead of 3x4s. You may want to just do 4x6s, right? So you may not want to cut all your mats yet until you have the pictures. So I'm looking at this side to figure out which mats do I think I want to use over here, so that when I'm cutting my other two 4x6s out of this light, so I think I want these ones. So I'm going to use this top part as my 4x6, and I'm going to cut it on this side. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use this part, and this is going to be my 2 4x6 mats. Okay, and those are the 2 that are going to go down here. Now this is where you'll have to think about what pictures you have and what do you want, because having 4x6 is great, no problem with that. Do you really want these pictures that are 3.5 by 2.5, or do you want to have a 4x6, or do you want to have 4x4s? That's why you wait until you get your pictures. But I know I'm going to use this, so I'm going to cut apart these, and I'm going to use some of these as mats and some of these as words. So let me get these cut apart, since mine came with mat. So always look, if your collection comes with matte paper like this, or you have a matte pack, maybe you can use something from a matte pack. Okay, so I have those, and then I'm going to cut, so I'm just going to cut this beach days. I'm going to leave this other one, because then that gives me another 4x8 piece. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to put some 4x4s here. I'm going to put 2 4x4s instead of 3 3.5 3x4s, and on this side, instead of that 3x4, I'm going to put a title, right? So that will be my do-over page. So I ended up using 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of paper to do this. Normally a project recipe will use 4, usually 5, plus my 2 white ones, but again, you could build them on the pink. So that is the do-over page. So that's our do-over page, and I really like the way it came out. So if you need to see these dimensions again, pause it, have a look at the sizes of all what we did tonight. Post your page. This is actually in my VIP group, so if you are in my VIP Facebook group, I would love to see your do-over page. And again, my regular one is not put together since we use that, so I will have both of mine posted in my VIP group. So thanks for joining me today. Have a great